right, good morning everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because we are going to talk about some very interesting things. We are going to talk obviously about crypto and the market, but in the main part, we're going to talk about Ecomi being potentially listed on an exchange and a couple of new developments around that. Now, all of that we are going to discuss in this show, the Crypto Morning Show, where you're getting all the information about Bitcoin, altcoins, Ecomi, Veve, and whatever other thing that is interesting to know. Let's get started right after the intro. So, good morning every one of you, and especially my rare hodlers that you can see here on the screen. Thank you for continuing to support me here, and for being subscribed, even though that there was like 1 week without any content because I was ill. Now I'm back with the live stream, with the daily morning live stream, or mostly daily morning live stream. Sometimes work doesn't allow it to do it. So let's see, we have here already in the house Moti Lee. Good morning. What's up, Moti Lee? And G-Flow PH, things are looking bullish now. What are your base case thoughts for OMI price? Glad to see you back on stream. We can discuss that when we're coming to the Ecomi price. I think that's a good one to see, but really my targets didn't change because Ecomi pumped. I think I'll stick with the same targets more or less that I had before. Green Lantern also here. Good morning, good to see you better. Thank you very much. By the way, I don't know what that was or how that was, but that was some really nasty stuff. I lost like 7 kilos or so. So I was already not a heavy person, but now I have some severe recovery to do, and yeah. But good to have a morning coffee with you guys again. Now, yeah, actually, with all the health stuff, maybe I have to create a sub channel to just talk about my health stuff. Definitely not going to do that on the crypto stream, that's for sure. Okay, so let's jump right in. And I really had a good laugh yesterday because that is so true. Let's put the chat. The chat needs to be aligned with the new visual here for the camera. I had a good laugh yesterday because people are so fast to getting used to crypto prices. It's like Bitcoin at 50k last week and versus 50k today. It's like people already are exhausted by the 50k, by a little pullback, by coming back to test 50k and so on. So I had a good laugh at this because it's absolutely true. Now, but to the real stuff. So the first data for yesterday from Grayscale, Bitcoin Trust, and ARK Invest and so on shows that actually, despite the video that I made where I showed that there was a GBTC outflow for the 20th of 137 million, now they increased to an outflow of 199 million. So there is someone selling GBTC shares in a big way, and that leads to our price consolidation at this level. Apparently, whoever the stakeholders of that entity that sells through GBTC is, and probably it's them, Genesis, they might have had a price point of 50,000 per Bitcoin to actually sell their shares. So Genesis is the one that on the February 16th it came out. They got the court approval to sell $1.6 billion in crypto trust shares, equivalent of $1.6 billion of whatever, like at the specific Bitcoin price. And yeah, you can see. So Genesis is it was allowed to monetize the shares in the GBTC trust, in the Grayscale Ethereum trust, and also in the Grayscale Classic trust. So Genesis holds about 35 million shares, about 1.38 billion in that trust. So that means they can do this exactly now with 200 million. They can do this around about 7 days. They could do this. Minus the 200 million they already sold yesterday, they can do it another 6 days. Minus whatever they already sold the previous days, they can only do this a couple of days, and then Genesis can repay their debt, right? So the Genesis is I think the financial holding or the financial arm behind Gemini, which went down in flames in the last bear market. So they can only do that so often. So I think the outflows, this is only temporary. And the crazy thing about this is, with 1.6 billion in crypto, 1.38 in Bitcoin, the price didn't really go down, right? So the price the price was at the same level for all this time. Hey Jordan, what's up? Almost caught the start this time. Yeah, almost. Have to. I don't know. A couple of minutes early, I started the countdown. So actually, you're not too late. Now here's something interesting, and that is the new Bitcoin ownership distribution as of February. And if we're going to look here a little bit, so the gray part, you can see that because it's behind my camera, but the super gray or light gray part here on the side is what's left to be mined of Bitcoin. And then we have governments holding 565,000 BTC, of which some is El Salvador, of which some is maybe Bhutan because they mined, of some of which is seized money from that the US government has. Okay, so that's only 565,000. That's not a big deal. And then already this part, bigger than these holdings, is what the ETFs hold. And this is the one that will increase. Like the ETFs, they will buy from all of these things, right? Even the government can liquidate BTC at some point from seizing BTC. So then businesses, 758K, but many businesses will go through ETFs probably in the future. And I was surprised that it's 57% of BTC is actually held by some individual wallets, whatever individual wallets, probably wallets that couldn't be allocated to companies nor to ETFs. So we have there 11.9, almost 12 million BTC held by, and this probably is going to shrink whenever the public takes profit and it gets scooped up by the other ones. Then we have this part, lost BTC, estimate of 3.7 million. I think it could be even a little bit higher. And then we have 714K miners. And that's the important number, because miners, what do they do? They increase the hash rate to produce Bitcoin. At the moment, 900 Bitcoin per day. In the future, probably only half of that. 714,000 is less than the funds the ETFs accumulated in 1 month since the ETFs are out. That's less. So even if the miners sold all of their Bitcoin, they would only be able to supply the funds hunger for like a little more than a month. That means that after that, the ETFs and the businesses and whoever individual that wants BTC, they have to buy it from each other if the miners were selling. If they don't sell, it already starts, right? So you see in this whole picture, you actually see this. It has to either come from the 1.38 million BTC to be mined, or the miners have to sell, or the regular retail, the shrimps, the whales, whoever has to sell to satisfy businesses and funds accumulation. And this will happen over time. But and this is where I will hold really strong to my little bit of Bitcoin that I have, because I know they all want it, right? So we will see. But I think this should give you a first glimpse on where Bitcoin could be going this cycle. Yesterday, just as a quick notice, I pulled this up here as well. We had the Fed minutes, where the Fed basically more or less say what they discuss. And most Fed officials note the risk of cutting too early. So there might be this catalyst of rate cuts might be delayed by a couple of months, but the longer they take, the more likely it is that something in the system breaks. If something in the system breaks, they have to cut rates. If it breaks, also means there could be a bump in the road of going upwards, right? So if something breaks, usually means that the Dow is red. If the Dow is red, could rip crypto down a little bit. So I don't know if it will be a bank failure or massive credit default or whatever, but something could be happening if the rates are higher for longer. That just on a side note. Some officials saw the risk of inflation progress stalling. We saw inflation came a little bit hotter in than people were expecting. We will see how this plays out on the next months, and if they can even lower the rates in summer already, or if they have to wait until autumn or so. Now, a little bit of chart before we do our own charts. Bitcoin will probably go across the resistance level and send it to 200k. This is what BTC does as usual. So what this trader here outlines is there is this golden line of a pre-resistance before the previous all-time high gets broken. And we see all of the parabolic runs here and have this drawn in. And that would be roughly at where we are right now with 55,000. So that's where we still have a little bit to go to then break it and then go into the parabolic run. Yo, what is going on? The unreleased truth, says Vechain. Yeah, absolutely. Vechain has done really, really well. And next week is a big week for Vechain with the presence at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. We will see what they release there. And it's going to be interesting for sure. G-Money also here. Hey, what's up, Maria Hodler? Coffe, the PogChamp, the charts, and the OMI. Okay, I see. Energy, good morning to you as well. So yeah, and then a little thing or an interesting thing from the RSI, and that is you see it here right at the side of my frame. Reaching new all-time high in this cycle will be quicker than the previous cycles. However, correction is needed to reach such a milestone. Historically, when Bitcoin reached the 70 RSI level in an M timeframe, a new all-time high is in view right now. It is 1.73 points away from reaching that. So, and that is like what's circled out here. Whenever we reach that 70 RSI, that's where we are then afterwards jumping to a new all-time high. We're not there yet, and every correction could prolong this. So, reaching new all-time high quicker, we will have to see if it really happens, but it could happen because of the ETFs. Jordan says, I'm guessing BTC hits all-time high before halving. Who else agrees? PH? No, actually, I don't agree. Before the halving is still 58 days out. And we have to get to 69k. There are a little bit of resistances in the way, in my opinion. I said it on around the Ecomiverse before I went ill that I don't think that that we will see a new all-time high before the halving. Also because at around the all-time high, there's a lot of butthurt about the top money that wants to get out. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the ETFs are going to accumulate, but you also have to see who's buying the ETF at the previous all-time high and who wants to buy a little bit before. I don't know. We will see. We will see if it happens. Maybe I'm wrong on this. But I just don't see it yet. We still have our difficulties to get through 55K. The unreleased says, what you predict new low would be. I know we're going to hit little below 0.035. So he's talking about Vechain. And if the bull run starts, how long would it last? I don't see us fall through. I can pull that up quickly because we have a lot of like dedicated Vechain guys here. So why not? Also from the Ecomi Veve. I think Vechain harmonizes a lot with Ecomi and Veve. In the sense of that we see a lot of overlap in the fams. So here you see it, right? So this Vechain, just a quick look. So I think at the worst we're retesting the channel at 0.32 ish, maybe 0.3, like 3 cents is the lowest that I see that Vechain going, right? So I'd say it could retest on top of this channel. Probably it retests on top of this previous high, which is 0.034. Right now we're sitting at 4.3. So yeah, you're right. With the 0.035, 0.034 is what I would see. Okay. Yeah, and then from there we'll see how it goes. But I think Bitcoin needs to go first. Waldo says, morning Jordan, hope you're well. Love your last Ecomiverse. Yeah, guys, make sure to check out Jordan's Ecomiverse. Yeah, I think the reach BTC all-time high. We reached BTC all-time high before the halving, then a little pullback. Jordan says, I saw a big short squeeze around 54K slowing us down, but ETFs are buying so much. Yeah, so we will see. So this really something that I mean, the all-time high is 69,175 or so, right? So here we see it on Bitcoin. And we have this resistance right now at exactly 52K. Yeah, 52,200-ish. There is confluence here, and then we'll have another resistance right below that from where Bitcoin topped out the first time in the previous cycle. Oh, by the way, the chat is not really aligned here. Now you guys can talk. So there's another resistance coming in. And the question is, will we, at some point, since we broke this line, we did not retest, we did not come back and retest anything. We retested this here, right? We filled the CME gap. But we did not come back for another retest or so. We just flew off and bought more and more and more and more. So it's really a matter of how fast can we break this resistance to get to this resistance, and then to get to there will be resistance below the all-time high, right? So even if we get to 66K or so, there will be another resistance, and we only have 50-something days for that. So the question is, are we really going to front run with a new all-time high on this, or will there be massive selling and profit taking on the way? That is the big question. Now, let's see. We have energy, $1 OMI. Holy, okay, the price predictions. Jordan says, love Vechain, one of my big plays from last cycle, actually. Nice. Awesome. Waldo says, I think it's a matter of once the OTC Bitcoin dries up. When that happens, price will pump. Yeah. So I think the miners still have something left for OTC, and you cannot forget one thing. The miners have to. They will probably, if we reach a new price point here, like 60K, if we reach 60K, the miners will probably give out a larger chunk OTC to buy more mining equipment for post-halving. They already did that here. So they were selling a lot of Bitcoin. But at some point they will not have anything more to sell. The question is only if that is before or after the halving, right? But definitely at the moment the Bitcoin production cannot service the demand. But you also have to see that, let's say you want to invest $120K, right? So at 50,000 you get 2.3 BTC for that. But at 60,000 you only need 2 BTC for that to service that. So if there's money coming into an ETF and the price goes higher, the Bitcoin inflow is a little bit lower than at lower price points. You catch my drift? So yeah, all of that will influence in whether we are breaking a new all-time high or not. In the end, breaking a new all-time high is just a number, but it's a psychological one. And yeah, we will see. How much percent is that? That's not too far away. Let's see, but it's also not too close. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, that's 33%. We need a 33% pump to get to the previous all-time high from where we are right now. Okay, so it's, yeah, that means we need roughly 1.5% every single day until the halving without pullbacks. Okay, does that sound realistic? I don't know. I mean, you can do 3% in one day, then you can pull back the other day, right? But that's basically it. Shit, I moved the halving. Why is the halving at the 15th? The halving is estimated at, that's because I was on the weekly chart and it doesn't show correctly. The halving is estimated here on the 20th. It can happen a day before, a day later. We will see. It just bounced a little bit around, but the 20th is the best guesstimate that we have right now. Okay, let's also quickly do one thing. Let's look at USDT. That is the US Tether dominance in the market. So right now, basically 5% of the entire market cap of crypto is in USDT. And it was 8% before we had our run. So the more that this goes down, the more crypto goes fly. Obviously, you can load in from, like, let's say someone can sell its gold reserves and load up Tether. So the percentage is not the real deal to look at. It's more like, do you see an outflow, right? But what you can see is more or less in the grand scheme of things is that probably here we'll have a little bit more inflow and then another bounce. Just from a technical perspective, you see this here, right? And when we bounced the last time, we had our first real pullback in the crypto market, especially on altcoins. And that was only a little bounce and then we allocated again. So USDT is really a good indicator whether money is flowing in or if money is flowing out of the market. How much do you sell your crypto in the bull? I'm scaling out as higher as we get, but I'm definitely not even going to start selling anything until I see Bitcoin going into more like overbought territory on the macro, on the monthly. I'm going to make a video, hopefully today, about more or less how I'm planning to identify the Bitcoin top. Obviously, I'm not going to sell the top. not delusional, but how I'm going to get close to where the top is using timing indicators and so on. And obviously we are going to, no worries, we are going to do it all on this channel together, right? Analyzing the different things. Let's talk about altcoins quickly. So we are looking at this channel a lot at Bitcoin dominance. And as you can see here, I'm going to move myself a little bit more in the upper region for that. As you can see here, we have this falling, what is this called? Like this falling wedge or so. It's not really a falling wedge. Let's see. Like a bearish triangle, he calls this here, the mustache guy. And he says basically, okay, we have one alt season and then we had another alt season, and now if this holds true, we should be already at the end for Bitcoin dominance and have another alt season right now. So that is, that could be happening. But what if it breaks out to the upside, right? What if Bitcoin dominance just goes with the bull? That is another question. Or if we just tingle around on this line for a longer while. So that is one question that I have to this. But we could be looking, or we could be right in front of another alt season. Okay. What's your DCA average on Vechain? Like 3.5%, more or less, because in the previous bull I bought a lot at higher prices, so I brought down my average to that. So I'm barely, like, slightly in a profit. And then we have this here. This is also interesting for the altcoins, and this is more like about the returns of the entire altcoin market, which we are also talking quite a bit about. And if we're looking at this here combined with the RSI, we see here, so this is when altcoins are going parabolic. So whatever you saw from the altcoins, we didn't go parabolic just yet. Let me just fix this here a little bit. Okay, so the altcoin market cap has flipped all important levels into support, and price keeps printing new local highs. In the previous bull run, altcoins started to go vertical once the 2-weekly RSI crossed the 70 line, which is not the case right now. Currently, the 2-week RSI is trading right below the 70 level. So the same thing that we saw before from Bitcoin, where the 70 level also would go Bitcoin full send, right? Once it breaks above 70, also will go parabolic. Remember, we are looking at a 2-week chart here, so it might take some time and consolidate for a little longer. Also, in the last cycle, the RSI crossed 70 level 6 months after Bitcoin halving, but considering that this cycle is a little different and Bitcoin is already trading above 0.618, we might see it sooner than you think. Pre-halving or post-halving, if history repeats, even in the worst case scenario, it should happen sometime this year. All I would say is ignore the short-term price action. The big picture looks incredibly bullish. Dips are for buying, which was the case right now, right? And don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Motili. Yeah, guys, make sure to smash up the like button for this Crypto Morning Coffee, for the stream. As we are going from the altcoins into Ecomi, make sure to smash the like button to help me grow this channel, get more people into this, that we see this. Quick look at the others chart here. This is what is meant by the altcoins, right? Let me refresh. We're coming to Ecomi in just a second. What we're looking at here is the altcoin chart on a weekly basis, and we see we're sitting at major resistance. We talked about this resistance line here for a long time. That we would get up there, that we would get rejected, that we would have a retracement to roughly this level, and now we're hitting our head once again on this level. And the question is, will we break it right now? There could be sideways action on this level before we break it. We saw that here as well, that we took a couple of weeks to get through this. Once we're through, we'll fly off, in my opinion, like this. Will just look like this. Okay, so so for right now, as we've drawn it, we're very, very on point with this thing here. Yeah, and we see here from the analysis that we had before from Max that he expects a 6x from that level. Okay, so this aligns with the roughly 8x that we have estimated from the breakout, right? So what is that? Yeah, it's actually more than 8x from the breakout, but I think we have estimated it from, was it here, from this line? Yeah, something like that. That's still a 14x more or less to that level. This was drawn in because of this, right? This would bring altcoin market cap to 2.5 trillion of the others, not the overall altcoin market cap. The others are without the top 10. Okay, let's get to Ecomi, which is not in the top 10. Let's see. Okay, Ecomi chart on a broader scale. Why is this on? We don't want OKX, we want the Gate.io chart. There we go. We are sitting right in the middle of, let me get this bigger for you. We're sitting right in the middle of this massive whale accumulation phase, yeah, with our chart. We have tried to peak above it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and every time we got rejected. Now this is some double bottoming scenario here. It would be good to close in this. That would be the first time that we successful close in this without the red, but there we go. There was just, that green candle just disappeared into a flat line and into just a wick. But it would be the first time to not get smacked down with a red candle if we can keep in the green for another 3.5 days. If we can close this in this green, then this would be a big deal already. Otherwise, we get rejected again. Well, we're looking at more accumulation party, right? The only thing that is different, and you note that here, or the big thing that is different is here on the rejection, or here on the pump, and here on the first, let's say, real reaction pump since the bottom, there was no volume whatsoever. This is different now. We have a very high volume on the weekly chart. This volume breakout, it's not very high compared to other coins, right? But it is high compared to what we had in Ecomi before. So this would be, it would be good if we can close this and get something like we had here in the beginning out of it, like something like this. Because then we would have like confirmed double bottom, and then maybe we can get to the next level here. Together with hopefully higher volume. Let's hope that this is not only a spike and we go back to the super low volume thingies here. So that for Ecomi would be really good. Nice. Okay, so if we were to break out, then the next big resistance is 70% pump away. And that's also more or less my average buy, like this level here. A lot of people will be at this point probably in the green and start taking some profits. I will not take profits at this level just yet. I think there is potential to come back until the end of this year to this 007, another prediction for at my around the Ecomiverse. Jordan remembers. I said that I expect 007 in the end of the year. Randy thinks I'm way off with this, that we will be at a couple of cents already. I think that we will be past. So he thinks that we will be past all-time high, I think, as was his prediction. But I'm looking at it more from the perspective of we are in almost an overbought territory here, and this is still 7x ish, 7.5x from here. To get to to get to 0007, which would be a little bit lower, it's a clean 7x, clean 8x, sorry. Because a 1x is the same price as you have, right? That's why you have to add one on top. Okay, let's talk about what could make Ecomi fly, right? And that is an exchange listing. So you saw this, someone made this with Binance. I modified it a little bit to get it on the thumbnail. Is David Yu painting exchanges this year for Ecomi? That is a big question, because exchanges will enable people to find Ecomi, to see what Ecomi is, and to buy Ecomi. And even more, sorry, I'm distracted by what Jordan just said. Let's get into what Jordan just said directly, because I cannot hold back on this. You are forgetting Randy's whales. He said 3 weeks, some giant wicks. Okay, let's see it, because the last time that Randy said that the whales won't allow it to drop under 001, that this will not happen, that you have to buy before. And then we went to 0005. And Randy's whales didn't buy it up. So, yeah, I'm more on the side. Let's see price action, right? And this is nothing against Randy. It's just when you say that Randy's whales are doing something, I want to see the whales doing something, right? Because I don't know I don't know how big these whales are. Maybe there are people that are capable of buying 1 billion OMI in an instant. I don't know. But yeah, he either needs more of the small whales or he needs a big whale. Yeah, because otherwise you don't move the needle on a $1 million daily volume, trading volume. You can, at the moment, you can pump the price with a little bit of money, but it's not sustainable with a little bit of money. Yeah, so he said 300 million OMI buying. Yeah, okay. But even 300 million OMI, it will move the price for sure. 300 million OMI will move the price. But a whale, like, the price only moves really hard if you drop this bomb into the order book and it just buys at whatever price until it's done. But most of the whales, they're just like, okay, they just place a buy order into the book and then let the people that are willing to sell like trickle into that. And you don't really see it, you just see a stale price. And slowly that buy order gets filled by various sales in the order book. So we'll see. But the overall question is David Yu painting us some exchanges? And now here we have one guy, that Glover, he says, OMI is on BitGet for receiving. So announcement should be soon, I would imagine. So it seems that you can do that with almost every crypto, but nonetheless there's some evidence that supports that basically that you can get OMI on BitGet. However, there was this response on Vivemeister from the BitGet support, and he says, so Vivemeister said that would be a bummer. Wouldn't like to spread fake news. Maybe one of them will respond. So BitGet support says, hi there, no news regarding OMI token listing on BitGet yet. For now, stay tuned to our official BitGet announcement for listing updates. Thank you. Okay, so that means they said yet, so probably that's just their way of saying, hey, one day in the future it might be there. But it doesn't, this seems more like wait for official response and probably not going to happen, right? So this is all speculation. So where does speculation come from? Let's see it here. So the speculation comes from actually someone who is doing a lot of on-chain analysis and stuff like that, and that is Crypto Bro. So Crypto Bro says it appears that OMI is going to be listed on BitGet. Here is what we know. 71 million OMI tokens were transferred from the OMI Business Development Wallet to a BitGet Holdings wallet. The BitGet wallet seems to be a wallet that BitGet uses prior to listings. Since BitGet already supports OMI via Uniswap token swaps, listing OMI would not be difficult for them. So here we see the transaction of 71 million and 111 $84,364 US, and the respective Etherscan wallets. So and then we had this, and I discussed this in my latest video, but not everyone saw this. HelloK actually provided some pretty nice insight here on the fees and what you have to do to get listed on BitGet. So this is from coin listing services for a BitGet listing. So if I access this link, I actually can't see anything. So we go with the screenshot here from K. So BitGet creates 3 tiers of token listings. So if you're a tier B token, so like a shitcoin, then you have to pay $160,000 US, of which 80K in USDT and 80K US dollar worth of tokens. And that's exactly, or almost exactly, the amount of OMI that has been placed in that wallet. And obviously because of fluctuations, you never know exactly. So probably that OMI value was a little bit higher, just to be sure, of the 80K worth of tokens. So that is the 71.1 million OMI tokens. And we see here tailored for projects that are promising but may not yet have reached top tier status. Why do they say this? Because OMI in itself as a token is not in the top token tiers, like a layer 2 or layer 1 that has a huge ecosystem already and I don't know what, right? So they probably would rank Ecomi in that tier B, or they ranked it in the tier A. They transferred 80K OMI to BitGet, and BitGet will transform half of that into USDT. Could also be ideal for projects that demonstrate significant potential and warrant enhanced exposure. Okay, so that would also be a possibility for them. And then in the end, there's also the tier S, which is for free, which is basically when BitGet wants to list a token, like for example a Pepe coin or something like that, because they want to absorb all the trading fees and make money with that. Reserved for top tier projects with strong social engagement and impressive on-chain data. So this is not Ecomi, tier S, not because Ecomi wouldn't be theoretically a tier S if you consider the ties that it will have into the Veve app, but right now these ties are not there in that form. So they are more or less a tier B, and that's where the 80K comes from. Okay, so back again to this, means that could be a business development wallet transaction to BitGet to get the listing done. And this is the 80K amount that we just saw. You see here 84,000. Okay. Now, some people were saying, so Asian Dan, Daniel Lee on YouTube, he posted this. I see people criticize the new exchange Omi might be on. So this is the first great thing. Why the fuck would you criticize an exchange that you don't even know that Omi is going to be on or not? Who cares? I mean, who cares? Even if it's a small exchange, who cares? BitGet has good volume, and as as that increases for a token, it becomes more attractive to other subsequent exchanges. Omi is building the foundation for a new all-time high in 2024, and few see it. That's true. Yeah, so I agree 100% with that. BitGet is an exchange that does a lot of promotion. They have their own exchange token promoted quite a bit, and so on. But let's see you guys in the chat what you had to say. Mr. Cashflow says, been holding this for 3 years. Yep. Jordan says, yeah, not sure if it will be in 1 day or over a week. Adam says, more exchanges that are American friendly would be great. Absolutely, because 97% of the I think 97% of the world's crypto volume, trade volume, is coming from the US. So you really need exchanges that are available in the US, and then Ecomi will do the rocket. I heard BitGet is great for UK, not good in US. I think, yeah, that's true. US told me not BitGet, no BitGet. Yeah, so US cannot access BitGet. I think that BitGet would not help with this problem. Jordan says, Forster said he'd hope we would not be in tier B, so maybe they paid 84K for the tier A instead. Yeah, that could be happening. I think BitGet is ranked 12th still. Definitely not a terrible exchange. No, at all. No exchange is a terrible exchange, unless it's like a super like wash trade scam exchange that doesn't bring anything. But BitGet is not a terrible exchange for sure. And the rank of an exchange by daily volume is one thing, but the daily volume is not the only thing that matters. What matters is how many people you have on the exchange, because that determines on how many people can find then Ecomi, like how many users, organic users you have, and how many people can find Ecomi, because if they find Ecomi, they will look what's behind Ecomi, and then they will find Veve, and they will create an account to try it out, and then they will buy some Veve collectibles. And that's ultimately what you need Ecomi for, that people can find the collectibles in the Veve app and then use Ecomi and money, like fiat money, to buy those collectibles and to interact with the app and so on. So ultimately, you need OMI on exchanges to get more Veve users. That's what you need, in my opinion. Yeah, so we saw the BitGet support getting back there. We will see. So I found this to be funny. If one day OMI is on Binance or on Coinbase, David Yu gets an award like this. Yeah, anyway, so that pretty much it. Now let's get a little bit to Veve as well. Foster said here, don't have to go very far these days to see examples of community feedback resulting in features being implemented in Veve. Many of the best ideas came from the fam, which is why I have always said community is everything. Very true. And here we see an example where Veve Zombie was like, how many of you would use the web application more to purchase gems if they had a function to save credit card information so you don't have to put in it every single time? If yes, put a 1 in chat. Now and then Mitch comes out and says, "Hey, it's already there." No, what a coincidence! It's already there, and actually that's pretty good. And what's also good is you can scan. You can use a scan function to scan your credit card and fill everything in but the security code. If you are saving your credit card information, make sure to only save it in the app, not in the browser, so no one misuses your credit card if they steal your phone or whatever, or go on your PC. Moving in the right direction. Yo, Trucking Hank, what's going on? By the way, guys, if you want to become a rare hodler like Adam and like Trucking Hank and like so many others here, and you get these little medals for being a rare hodler on the side, right? Then you just have to become a channel member on this YouTube channel, right? You only have to be a subscriber on YouTube, then you're a rare hodler, then you get access to the exclusive Telegram group where we are also talking altcoin picks and everything around Ecomi and Veve, and drop the alpha more early, so to say. Yeah, and many other perks, like ask around, ask some of the rare hodlers. They got some physical comics of the Veve exclusive ones. We did some giveaways there. Many more things to come, but only being distributed in the exclusive group. Now, what else? Veve Collectibles. So I think Veve Collectibles is doing some good stuff. We have more Robocop drop. We had the Lamborghini Countach. We had the Countach. We had we have the Blade. We had the Blade comic, which was too expensive in my opinion. It should have been a 10 gem edition, but they sold 4,000 editions, so they made some buck on this. And we're going to have Blade, and I think Blade is a cool drop. A lot of people get excited about it. For me, it's not a participation in the drop, but maybe a secondary market purchase. It doesn't seem to be animated, nor does it have to have sound. It just seems to be a statue. But it seems to be, from all I can see, is like F.A. Wesley Snipes, right? So at least the face looks really Wesley Snipey. So I'm a fan of Blade. I watched the movie more than once, and actually there's sub 1,000 of these. That's actually not too bad. But the question is if people will spend 50 at the moment. Will people use MCP priority bid? That's a question. A couple of those are held back, so we're really looking at something that is more scarce here. So this is what I think is really good. If Veve finds the sweet spot here for MCP and editions and their revenue, that would be great. And then as more people are left without editions, they can slowly scale the edition number a little bit higher, but always like this. It always has to be like, in my opinion, on a drop, always has to be like, if you have 1,000 editions, you should have 2,000 people wanting the drop, so that every second person doesn't get it, so that you have to use MCP to get it, that you want to spend MCP. DZ says, I bought my OMI in early 2021. Is there any hope for the coin to be used more as utility and move the token price up near future short term? Thank you. Yes, there is. So the coin short term is not next week, okay? Let's get this straight. But as we analyze on this channel, first of all, you're holding OMI for a long time and nothing happened. I know this more than anyone else because I am since the beginning an OMI YouTuber that didn't have anything to talk about for two entire years, basically. Okay. However, yo, Mark D, that one was good. Anyways, uh, they introduced a soft staking mechanic, DZ, where basically if you move OMI into the app, you get those MCP points that you need to secure scarce drops, right? You can get them also by collectibles, so it's not an exclusive OMI mechanic. Now they also introduced something that's called the bronze ticket. So if you have OMI in the app, you get some tickets that you will need for exclusive drops and exclusive crafting, and those tickets you can only get by OMI. So technically there is a little bit of a utility. I think that, and they released an article for the priority for building utility out for OMI in this year. So if we're talking short term, that OMI will do well in this bull run, I still think that that is going to be the case. So I would say yes. If you can manage to hold until the end of this year, then I think you will be pleased with OMI having a positive price action. Does that mean that OMI will outperform all other altcoins? No, for sure not. I don't think so. But on the other hand, it will outperform some altcoins, I believe, in the bull run. Yeah. So basically, that is some of. We have a couple of things like, okay, you have exchanges that are coming in, hopefully. You have more like OMI to NFT and stuff like that. So bullish things that drive the price. Paul Hu, yeah. Big Val says, I can see OMI on exchanges at the end of March, right before the halving. That would be the right move. Yeah, I think a lot of things will come with the halving. All projects do that they into the halving and around the halving they drop the big guns. But anyways, guys, for today, make sure to smash up the like button right now. 40 people in here for the morning stream. I absolutely love it. Thanks for participating. Thanks for the discussions. Thanks for the insights here and your opinions. Special thanks to my rare hodlers. Thanks DZ coming in here and asking that question. Guys, make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's Crypto Morning Coffee. We'll be back tomorrow. And guys, wherever you are on the world, have just great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you in the next live stream.